All right, so once again, thank you everyone for joining our today's webinar, Melding Effectively Your Inbox Calendar Data with Salesforce. So my name is Alex Sutler. I'm the Key Account Executive here at SmartCloud Connect. And I'm here with my colleague, Tom Nash. So me and Tom would be happy to do this presentation for you and show you exactly how our product works. So
Absolutely. So we basically, we're colleagues, we're working in the same department, we share the same position. So we would be happy to just walk you through our day-to-day progress. Like since we're facing the same kind of struggle as you, we'll basically cover how exactly we can help you out and what tools do we have to help you out.
And how that tool helps us as well in our daily activities.
Absolutely.
So you can see our photos. Obviously, I'm more handsome than Tom, but
yeah, but still,
he's younger, so
yeah.
it's your bonus. So our contact details are below. So in case if you do have some questions, feel free to ask those questions via email. All of you got emails from either me or Tom, and we'd be happy to help you afterwards. So let's get started, I guess, right?
Sure.
So first of all, obviously, the question is who you guys are and what do people say about you. So actually, we're not newbies in this business. So, we've been on the market for over 10 years, and we've been mentioned by a few credible sources. Gartner, he named us as a cool vendor, so we're really cool, right? And Bill Gates, he also was mentioned in our product when he was doing a presentation on his own Outlook product and wanted to show a good example how easy Outlook is integrated with third-party apps. He used our tool, SmartCloud, as an example for that.
Yep, exactly. So it was not only those items that we have, we also provide by nuclear research and also other research companies, we basically give a unique 5 hours of return into investment, and that basically helps us to automate much things for you guys. As the next slide is basically covering like what exactly we do for the living, with which companies we work, and mostly we work with IT giants such as Oracle, SAP, and Microsoft.
So Salesforce is not the only platform that we're working with. It's just one of the platforms we work with.
Exactly, and basically we have even like the Salesforce was like the second platform on which we jumped, and it was a significant success for us. So we'll basically show to you today how exactly that success was achieved.
By the way, just to mention, to add on top to what Tom said, our motto is that we integrate not just data, but business processes. And so let's say if you guys are using Salesforce as your CRM platform and you are using obviously Outlook or Office 365, and you have some additional platforms like ERP platforms maybe, or ECM platform, or anything else that you would like to integrate, we're the guys to talk about this. So in case if you need to put all different platforms in one place, let us know. We'll help you out.
As an example, let's say you're using the Salesforce and at the same moment in time you're using Dropbox. We'll basically meld all of those environments into one, so you can, without jumping anywhere else, you can still work in your native environment, which is Outlook, and you can still operate with Dropbox or CRM on which you are currently using.
Actually, Tom will show us today how that works, and it's awesome. You will love it when you see it. Value for a business. Obviously, SmartCloud, the reason why people have tools like ours, you want to bring your Salesforce data right inside of your inbox to get a full 360-degree view of your client base right inside of the Outlook. That's one of the things why you would want to use SmartCloud, so you will no longer have to switch between different platforms, between your Salesforce to look up for some data there and then go back to your Outlook, copy and pasting data all the time. It would be all available now for you in just one place in your inbox.
And can you imagine if like all the times summarized, the times when you like click from the Outlook window to Salesforce window to your browser, all the times summarized, they give you an additional at least 30 minutes per day, which you can invest into something else.
That says a lot of time. You think like, 5-10 seconds, but then you add them
up.
In
the end, it makes a significant amount of time.
And your company pays for that time, which is basically wasted, right?
Yeah.
All right. So next thing, boost your reps performance. So how we help you with this? So obviously, SmartCloud allows you to work with your Salesforce data, not just to see that data, but work with your Salesforce data right inside of the inbox. You can edit, create new records in Salesforce, add any additional information, attach files, email file attachments to Salesforce, and again, you can do it right from your inbox.
Right. Basically, in addition to what you already have, we're trying to combine all the available items of the CRM system into Outlook. So if your guys are using mail templates to send out to your clients, we basically allow you to embed them into the Outlook environment, which allows you to easily send them on the go.
Yeah, and again, it saves time on the composing emails.
Yeah.
And I will give you some good examples today how that helps. Okay, so calendar integration. Obviously, besides using emails, we use calendar appointments, right? And you want to keep track of all your meetings as well in the Salesforce, in the CRM system. And so SmartCloud is capable to log all your calendar activities, all your meetings, all your events, appointments into Salesforce. Again, that can be done seamlessly with the SmartCloud Connect.
Yep, and you can even do that without any manual interaction. So all the events which you have would automatically sync to Salesforce and sync backwards. You don't have to do anything to do so.
Taking zero of your time again.
Exactly.
All right, so data loss. Obviously, you know how the things work, right? So typically, you get an email, then you would log this email into Salesforce, write in your comments, but really it depends how diligent sales reps are in doing their data entry into Salesforce, right? And so there is some data missing, right? Because obviously sales reps are not able to put all the information in the Salesforce. With SmartCloud sync capability, you can be 100% sure that 100% of your data that is residing in your reps inbox and calendar is now available in CRM for everyone to see.
Exactly, and basically that helps you out. So once again, manual interactions is something for people which takes a lot of time. So we're trying to automate that as much as we can.
So what's the value for the business for SmartCloud? So shorten deal closure time. That's what SmartCloud can help you with. One of the examples is we have a feature, the productivity feature, track email opens. So basically, when you send an email, you don't have to wait days or weeks expecting a response. You know exactly when the recipient opens the email, and then you can take your next step and move to the next action. So that way, you can significantly shorten the deal cycle. And I will give you some examples again, as we will be showing that feature today during this webinar.
Absolutely. So we exactly increase the follow-up rate with your prospect and customers. We simplify that also as much as we can. In the first place, we allow you to create follow-ups right away from the Outlook. And then the second step, well, Scheduler Assistant, it definitely helps you out to schedule a time for both parties. Let's say instead of playing ping pong with your client of like what time would work best for him, instead you just send him a link right away, which would create an event for both of you.
The total value of SmartCloud. So obviously, SmartCloud allows you to sync your data, and it's not one-way synchronization, it goes both ways. So whatever data you have in Salesforce, say if you create an event in Salesforce, that will show up in your rep's calendar, or vice versa. If your reps creates an event in his own calendar, in his Outlook, that will show up in Salesforce. So it's a fully bidirectional synchronization. Yeah.
And then the second, second hand, you have a full-scale merge, which exactly means that you have an Outlook window to Salesforce, so to say, where you can interact with any information, modify, search for it, or even create new records and activities. And maybe on the last part is an intelligence, which is AI, is something regarding which the entire IT industry was speaking about for at least like 5 years. We are trying to bring that as well into our product and basically help you out with suggestions. Let's say if this record is empty, we suggest you to fill it in, or if there is no open opportunity, but the client suggests you that he's actually interested in demo, we suggest you to create such opportunity.
Or create a follow-up task to make sure that you have the next step plan. So
exactly.
Again, this comes with the SmartCloud intelligence feature. All right, so again, the process, the installation process of SmartCloud, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. So you just have the add-in activated, and the add-in itself can run either in the cloud on the Office 365 or email exchange, or you can install it on your PC physically. Then you just log in into your Salesforce and your Outlook Office 365, and you're ready to use it. So it's easy. So I guess, Tom, let's get started with the actual presentation. By the way, this is the agenda for today. So that's what you got in your emails. So what we will be showing you today, how you capture every communication in your email into Salesforce, synchronized calendar, assuring your emails are read by the recipients, increasing the follow-up rates, and using Salesforce templates natively in Outlook, and also will show SmartCloud mobile experience on iOS.
Yeah, and that would be actually significant because some of you guys, you work in fields, you basically don't all the time, you're not in front of your PC, so the solution which we provide is also available on the mobile platform, so we'll showcase that to you.
So I guess we will get started with the sync functionality, how the sync works with the SmartCloud Connect. So obviously you got all the emails, right? You send all the emails and you want to make sure that they are available in Salesforce. And so we offer different options for logging your emails into Salesforce. The manual option, which I will show you in just in a second, and the automatic option. So let's say if I just got an email from a person, from a prospect or a customer. So obviously, SmartCloud provides a full 360-degree view of that record in my Salesforce. So I see exactly what status that person, that lead is, who owns the record, right? I can add an additional comments to the description. Additionally, as you can see, there is a possibility to add a quick memo into the description, log a call, say if you call the person, add a follow-up task, and get insights. Now, how do I get this email logged into Salesforce manually? So obviously, first of all, if you look in the add-in, on the top of the add-in, you see the notification saying email not saved, and you have the save button, so you can click on that save button, and that would have this email saved to Salesforce immediately. Also, you have an option to choose to what Salesforce record this email should be stored. So let's say if you are clicking on this drop-down menu, obviously I have no other records besides this one that is displayed here, but say if I have opportunities, I have contacts or any other data, then using SmartCloud, actually, I can choose to what records in Salesforce I should be able to save this record to. And that's the easiest way. Just click Save button, and that's all. And this is what we call Adaptive UI view. So just provide some general information of the person to give you some just a basic idea what you have for that person in your CRM. But on the bottom of the sidebar, if you click Detailed View, you will see a more detailed view of that record in your Salesforce. You can click Edit, and you can see all the fields that you have in Salesforce. You can edit those fields. You can see what other records you have related, like attachment, support cases, what open activities you have, what you have in activity history, or any notes and attachments. And the other option to get email saved manually is just to hit the quick save button and the plus sign in the ribbon. That's also an option for you. Or another way is just to right click and choose Salesforce category, and that's all. You will mark this email to be synced into the Salesforce. That's regarding the manual synchronization, but we also have the ability that we provide to automatically log your emails into Salesforce, and Tom will show exactly how you would make it possible.
Yep. Exactly. So since, as we mentioned before, we're trying to automate as much processes for you guys as possible. So all the information which Alex showed to you, that you can actually share all the activities to Salesforce manually, you can also, at the same time, you can do that automatically. So every time when you receive a new email from your client, or either way you send it over, you will log that automatically. We'll basically use our engine to understand like to whom exactly you've sent this email, and we'll link that into his activity history on Salesforce. At the same moment in time, you can also synchronize your meetings and appointments. That's also automatically and without any interaction from your side. You can link those activities to opportunities just in case if you need so, because some companies do work with opportunities. Some companies are not that like opportunity sales focused, so they work mostly with accounts and contacts. So that's also optional. And let's say if there's something personal or something unwanted that you basically don't need to appear on the Salesforce, you can add this information into blacklisted domains. So let's say it's a domain name or email address, so it basically will get excluded from sync. That's regarding the synchronizing your activities. Now we do also have the integrations part, which I've mentioned before, let's say with the Dropbox or SpringCM. Basically what it means is that let's say you have a Salesforce in place. Then let's say for all the documents that you have, all the documents which you receive and so on, you have a box.com or SpringCM in place. So what we allow you to do is to integrate all of those systems into one environment. As far as we do right now, you can see that all the list of the integrations that we have. So on the Outlook side, it looks pretty much like this. So let's say I open
and this is amazing, guys. This is just cool.
And let's say I just opened the SpringCM storage add-in, which is basically a direct link to my SpringCM repository. We parse the objects for you in here by different types. So let's say I've just got an email from Brian. His email itself, it contains the image in his signature. We'll allow you to filter it out. We'll allow you to save an email exactly as an email or MSG file directly to SpringCM, because some companies do require that. And in the same moment in time, that there are like other files which are not recognized. Let's say there's some weird archive in that email. We allow you to also separate that as a different category, but we still allow you to save it to your storage management system just in case if you want that. Once you hit save, and let's say you want to save this attachment to a specific folder, you just dive deeper, you select the folder to which you actually want to save it, you select the exact folder, and you basically hit save. So that's exactly what we do and how exactly we are trying to simplify your life in terms of integrating all the systems into one piece.
And the good thing is that later you can actually share this file with other people within the company or anyone else, so they can see exactly what email attachments you got.
Exactly, and you can even attach those files back. Let's say there was a contract which you have saved on SpringCM, it got edited several times on the SpringCM itself, then you can attach it back via the compose node.
Tom, just a question that we got.
Sure.
When manually saving emails, can we adjust what fields appear on the task list? So that's a question from Anthony. So
absolutely.
So can you show how? Yes, Anthony, that's possible. You can actually choose exactly what you would want to see in that SmartCloud add-in, because not like others, SmartCloud offers a customization functionality. You can actually customize this add-in and choose exactly what you want to see in that add-in. So if you go to the settings, Tony, if you could go to the settings.
Basically, what I'll show you right now to you is that how exactly we save it. As for now, you can view the activity right away on the Salesforce, but in the same moment in time, you can actually configure everything that you see in the layout completely. So this is my settings page. On the left side, you do have the entire list of all the objects from Salesforce. Our Salesforce is pretty much customized, but I'm sure that's the common case for all the scenarios and all the CRMs. So you can see the email message in here, and it's selected. So it means that email message will appear as an activity. So it's one of the objects in SmartCloud Connect. If I go into detailed view, I can select here which fields basically I need that email message when I save it. So they'll be available for you and you'll be able to operate them. And we here reflect exactly the settings which you have on your Salesforce. We are trying to match exactly your environment.
And Anthony, you said when I hit save email button, I cannot see those fields available. So basically, you would be able to save this email to the same Salesforce record that you can save them in Salesforce itself. So if you can save a task to any object in Salesforce, then you can also do the same thing in SmartCloud Connect. Lynn is also asking what if you want to save an internal email to a contact in Salesforce that isn't included in the email distribution? So, so if you could show Tom how we could search for how we could use the search functionality provided by SmartCloud and link email to totally relevant records in Salesforce.
Absolutely. So in the first place, you can filter out, or alternatively, you can like show the internal information by just the setting customization, which says search also for internal email addresses in Salesforce. But at the same moment in time, if you want to go ahead and say, let's say you want to save this email to absolutely different record in Salesforce, we do have a search for that, and basically we filter out through the entire Salesforce. And let's say I want to save this email to a completely other record. I just pull up his card, ensure that it's exactly this person to whom I want to link that email, and I hit save. So that's everything that I have to do.
By the way, not can you just save emails, but if you have any email attachment, like you got a zip here, you can also save this email attachment to the Salesforce too, and it will be saved to Salesforce files section. Or like Tom showed with the integration that we provide for like SpringCM or Dropbox, you can actually save them to whatever storage cloud you use and have those email attachments go there. So exactly. Whatever you prefer.
So you can see that for David, I don't have any related documents found in SpringCM, but if I do, they'll basically show up in here.
All right, so let's get back. So this is how basically email synchronization works with the Salesforce and how we can upload emails into Salesforce. Now, let's say if I would want to log my calendar events into Salesforce, how would I do that? So I will show you again how that works with our tool. So let me quickly show my screen again. So the way how that works basically, let's say this is my calendar. So let's say I have quite a few meetings here. You can notice that some of them are in blue color, some of them are in yellow. And the way how that works is that, for example, if I need those meetings go into Salesforce, how would I do that? So first option that we have is, again, fully automatic option like Tom presented you today. And so if you go to SmartCloud add-in and go to the sync settings, you'll be able just to enable the synchronization of your calendar events into Salesforce and your appointments, and that will happen for you automatically. So you click on sync settings, detail settings, and here we are, so calendar section. And you're able to synchronize either your meetings or your appointments automatically. Again, if there are some meetings that you don't want to synchronize automatically with Salesforce, you can add those domains or emails into this blacklisted domains field. So by default, we do not synchronize any internal meetings. Let's say if you have a pipeline meeting with your boss, or I don't know, any other meetings, right? So those will not go into Salesforce automatically since they are blacklisted. All internal communication stays internal. But obviously, there's another option. Say if you have a meeting with, I don't know, your girlfriend, for example, right? So she sends you the calendar invite.
And you add that to your work calendar? Really? Okay.
All right, but say you don't want that in Salesforce. So if that's the case, basically all you have to do, you just click on the meeting, just select any meeting, like a webinar pre-planning, for example, that we had with Tom yesterday. And in the ribbon, you have an option to mark it as private. That's all. So, and you see a little padlock is applied to that meeting. And so if you mark that as private, it only will stay in your calendar and will not go to Salesforce automatically. So this scenario is recommended for everyone who prefers to have, let's say, 80–90% of their meetings logged into Salesforce. But say if you have just a few meetings that you want to log into Salesforce, let's say just 30% of the meetings you have. So in that case, we would recommend manual synchronization. With manual, you basically do the opposite. Instead of marking meetings that you don't want in Salesforce, you would mark meetings that you would want to see in Salesforce.
That's right.
And if that's the case, all you have to do, you just get the meeting that you want to add to Salesforce, you right-click on the meeting, categorize, and apply the Salesforce category. It changes the color to Salesforce, and it will be marked for synchronization with Salesforce. Or option number two, if you want to choose to what record exactly you want that email to be synchronized, you just open the sidebar, and using that sidebar, you can actually choose the record to which you would want to synchronize this email. So let's say
it's basically like the same side panel as you have it on the email. It provides all the same capabilities.
Yeah, so this is that easy to get your emails, your calendar events added to the Salesforce. And again, we can do it either fully automatically or manually. Now, Tom, if you can show us what we discussed in the beginning, how do we track email opens?
Absolutely. So it's super simple. Let's say you just got an email from David. All you have to do is basically reply back to him in the first place. Then you insert the track email opens into the email, which basically inserts a tiny pixel which no one can see at all. It's all the same tools work in absolutely the same way. So you insert the magic pixel, and then later on, if you go ahead and you click on view the email opens, you basically will be able to see like what exactly you have. You can open the specific thread. You can dive into details in terms of like how many times this email was, how many times this thread was opened, and so on. So we basically on the fingertips, we are trying to provide you as much functionality and features as we can. In terms of Salesforce, also that's something that we have talked about before. You can automatically create new activities at hand. Let's say if you want to create a new task, and that's also something that you were asking about us guys. So let's say instead of like email, you wanted to create a task. You can change all the fields in here. You can change all the information. It's editable right away. Let's say I want to switch the date from May 17th to May 31st. And then basically you going ahead into all the details, you create, you hit the create, and that would create a task right away on the Salesforce.
So typically, let's say what I do, if I got an email from someone and I need to involve some people within the company to get a response for that person, I would go ahead and quickly create a follow-up task using SmartCloud Connect, right while I'm still on that email. So let's say I create a follow-up task for tomorrow, and I'll be reminded tomorrow that I have to take care of this person email. Now, regarding the email tracking feature, I find this feature really helpful when you really want to shorten your deal cycle. So you all know what it's like, right? When you are, let's say, having a nice conversation with your prospect or a customer, and then you agree on the follow-up date. Typically, they would say something like, well, why don't you call me in a week time or 2 weeks time? And so you patiently wait those 1 or 2 weeks, and let's say you have to send them some proposal or some quote and let them work on it. And the problem is that if you send this quote or proposal and wait those 2 or 3 weeks and then come back to them, it might just happen that they even haven't opened this proposal. So they even didn't start working on the proposal you gave them. And so what I typically do, if I send a quote or proposal, I would quickly check the email tracking feature to see if the email has been opened. And if I see, let's say, if it hasn't been opened, then I would give them a courtesy call saying whether it wasn't blocked, let's say, by their spam filter, just to make sure that they have opened the email. And obviously that way I save weeks of my time, and that way I can significantly shorten the deal cycle.
Absolutely. Anthony, as far as the question which we have received from you, so I don't have like the view opens for this specific email, but if I go into detail statistics, what we allow you to see is how many times that email was opened. So you can see all my currently tracked email threads, and you can see the email opens on which one by the recipients themselves.
By the way, Tom, if you can click on, let's say,
let's see this one, which is basically the thread.
No, this is our internal. Let's just let's say click on the.
I want to click on this one. Let's say
the external, yeah.
So basically, we also allow you to dive directly into it and scroll down and view the email opens in it, and see like from where exactly, from which places, from which device this email was opened, and what is my time zone and what is the recipient time zone.
Yeah, and also the good thing is that it even shows the device that's been used to open the email. So let's say if I send an email and I see that they've opened that from the mobile, then I do know that they're traveling, they're not in the office,
exactly.
Right? So
in terms of like how do you read that and which recipient open it, we basically track it by the to email field, because it's logical that if you send the email to Randy, you want to track his activity, where exactly he opened that email.
All right, so the next question on our list today is how do we increase the follow-up rate with the calendar assistant?
Yeah. Exactly. So instead of playing the ping pong, let's say I've just got an email from David. He's saying I'm available tomorrow or sometime next week. So what I want to do, I want to reply back to him. Then I want to add one of my colleagues into this specific meeting. Let's say I want to add Alex, and then I hit send meeting time slots. I select all, like I double check all the information before I send it over because it's essential. I can change the meeting subject, insert location. Let's say it would be Skype.
And provide the Skype details, maybe like, or
body description.
Or if I do the GoToMeeting, I would provide my GoToMeeting details right there. So once the meeting is accepted, the meeting details are already available in the calendar.
Exactly. You can change the duration. You can automatically share it with Salesforce. So instead of like then going and synchronizing this specific event,
if you do manual sync,
you can share it right away. If you do have automatic sync, we'll take care of it for you. Then I hit next. What's really useful here is that I can see not only my calendar to select the free time slots, I can see also the Alex's calendar. So I can pick up a time, let's say, as David mentioned, for today, and sometime for tomorrow, Friday, and pick up a couple of times here. As you can see, there are tons of events in here, and basically that's some of them are Alex's events, some of mine. It allows me to basically easily determine and select the time which would work for both of us. Then I hit next. I can double check again all the details.
So by default, it just shows your own local time zone, but obviously you can change the time zone to your recipients. But again, once they receive this email with the selected suggested time slots, once they click on any of those time slots in their web browser, it'll show their own computer time zone.
Exactly. So you can see that I'm in Pacific. So basically, it's inserted in time correlating with that time zone. And it's also showing the duration of the meeting. So once the user will click, once David will click on this link, he'll basically get redirected to the actual calendar. He'll see that, hey, it's me, that organizer. Hey, it's Alex Sutter who is also invited, and he'll also himself. And then he can block a time slot which would work best for him and for us. So that would simplify life for every party, because we are not wasting our time to determine which exactly time slot works.
Yeah, Tom, are you available this time?
Oh, I'm not sure.
No. What about this time? No, I'm not available.
Next week, maybe?
Next week I'm busy.
I'm busy. I'm going on vacation. So instead of playing that ping pong, you just can schedule the meetings at hand.
I also find this feature very helpful. Let's say if I have a call with my prospect, and the next question is typically when you finish the call, you would ask, when would be a good time to touch base, and they would tell you something. Well, Alex, why don't you try calling me next Wednesday, right? And you call them next Wednesday in the morning, they're not in the office. You call them again a bit later, they're having some internal meeting. You call them again later, they're on the phone. You call again later, and they went for lunch. And so basically you can keep calling the entire Wednesday and having no luck with this. So what I typically do, I would say, hey, Tom, I would send you my available time slots for our next Wednesday's meeting. Why don't you choose the time that works best for you? And Tom would then go ahead, click the time slot that works for him, and obviously we would be all on the same page. Tom would remember that at 12 p.m., the time he has chosen himself, he has a meeting with me, and I'll call him at that time. And that way, I'm 100% sure that, or at least 90% sure that I'll have this meeting happening. So that helps a lot with increasing your follow-up rates if you use the Calendar Assistant when it comes to setting up the follow-up calls or meetings with your prospects and customers.
Exactly. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to type them in. Basically, just to sum it up, I'll go ahead back into the side panel and showcase, like, once again, what you have in here at the hand in terms of the Salesforce options that we provide. So you do have the ability to view any kind of records within the Salesforce. If there are any kind of custom records, you can go ahead and add them in customization panel right in here. Will allow you to access, nope, it's not what I want. I want to delete it from search. So basically, we allow you to create, to see and create any kind of objects which you have on Salesforce. We allow you to create them right away on the side panel in the Outlook itself. At the same moment in time, we provide you here the capability to see this record, to dive deeper, change all the information if needed, be able to create any follow-up, log a call. You can even reply back within the email template itself. Or alternatively, you can show more, and since it's like an account, I can create new contact beneath it right away. All the fields and all the logic will be also followed in here. It would be better to show in opportunities. Once you create it, we follow the exact logic of Salesforce. We highlight for you the required fields. So let's say if there is a deal type, which I definitely have to enter, we highlight that for that and show that it's like a mandatory field. And at the same moment in time, in like to the new objects, you can also create new activities, new tasks, new events, and all of that comes at a hand for you.
Now, question about templates. So for what we've done, we enabled users, our clients, to use Salesforce templates natively inside of the Outlook. So this is the great news when you need to send, let's say, thank you email, or typically when I use templated email, say I make a lot of calls during the day, and very often I get the voicemail, right? So the problem with voicemail is that people don't always listen to those voicemails. So what I typically do, let's say I just called Paul and wasn't able to reach him, so I left him a voicemail. So there's a very little chance Paul will listen to my voicemail, but in case if he doesn't listen to my voicemail, what I do additionally, I would send him an email to say that I've left a voicemail. And so if you scroll down in SmartCloud, you will see this little icon, reply with a template. And so what I've done, I've created a template for voicemails. And what SmartCloud does, you see Alex voicemails, and I just insert that template. And basically what it does, it just inserts that voicemail into the email compose body. So usually by the time when I'm done with the voicemail, I already have the email composed to Paul to say, hey, I've just called you, see if you need any assistance, and why don't you call me back? This is my number, right? So this is really helpful because obviously it saves, again, a lot of your time. You don't have to compose those emails. Again, it might be just 1 or 2 sentences, but it would accumulate lots of your time if you would be doing after each voicemail.
When you summarize it like per day and then you multiply it on days in a month, you'll get a significant amount of time.
And Anthony is asking again, so if it's possible to choose what folder I see in the template. So it can be done with the help of our developers team. So we can do that for you in case if you would want to see some specific templates within your Salesforce, we can do that. Otherwise, what I do, I just have my voicemails named with my own name, so I know exactly what voicemails, what templates belong to me.
Exactly.
All right, so I guess we have to finish the meeting very shortly. So the last thing that I'll be showing you today is the mobile experience, how that would work on your mobile device.
And just in case, we work with both mobile platforms. We work with iOS and Android. And we provide all the same capabilities on the side panel, which we have showcased before. All the same options you have in place already for the mobile version. We understand that that's essential for you guys to have everything at the hand, and we basically provide all the same capabilities in terms of the objects, in terms of the activities, and so on. So right now, Alex is showing his mobile phone screen, and we'll dive into the Outlook and see what options do we have in there.
So yeah, the good news is, and I use it quite a lot. If I'm traveling and I get those different emails from my prospects, I really want to know what I have for them in my Salesforce. So let's say I just got an email from Victoria, and what I do, there's 3 little dots, as you can see, next to the date.
Yep.
And what I would do, I would click on those 3 dots, and it would show me what add-ins I have added to my Outlook. And since the actual add-in is running in the cloud, it's available on any device I use to connect to my work mail. So I'll just click on the add-in, and it just loads basically the same add-in, SmartCloud add-in, that you would see in your laptop or on your PC or on your Mac. So any device you use to work with your mail, you would be able to see exactly the same things. And again, you would be able to, let's say, if I need to create a new contact or new lead, you can do that. Again, if you need to edit, let's say, the account, you can do that. So you can add any additional information. Typically, what I do, let's say, if I got an email from Victoria, I quickly read it but didn't have time to respond. Using SmartCloud, I would just go ahead and to create a follow-up task. So I add task. Let's say I know that I'll be back in the office tomorrow. I'll choose the tomorrow's date. And once I've chosen the tomorrow's date, I'll just respond back to Victoria and hit save, and that would have the task created. And the good news is that I can do it on the go. I'm on the train, on the bus, in the car, anywhere I am. I can work with my Salesforce data effectively using SmartCloud, and I see exactly who is emailing me, who they are. And we also have this great integration with the social media with LinkedIn. So if you, let's say, need to create a new record, you can quickly look up for their details on social media. Let's say you see, let's say, I don't know, Victoria. So let's say I have this lead, Victoria Patel, and I don't have it created yet. So if I quickly click on the LinkedIn, it will show me who she is and what record is available for her in my Salesforce. You see how that works. Additionally, very good thing about SmartCloud is that we, with our sync capability, we can actually synchronize not just your emails and calendar events, we can also synchronize your contacts, your Salesforce contacts with your Office 365. And if you use your mobile device to link to your Office 365 account or email exchange, you would go to your accounts and passwords and see this is invisible, this is my company's Office 365 account, which I've added to my cell phone. Now, if I would, let's say if I have any of my prospects calling me while I'm traveling, I quickly just go ahead and in my phone book, if you look in the groups, you will see the folder Salesforce Contacts. And so this shows me all contacts that I have in Salesforce. So if any of them call me, I see their name showing up on my caller ID. So I don't have to ask questions like, hey, who are you?
Sorry?
Yeah, what's your name?
I don't recall. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I finally recognize it. So instead of doing that, you just have his name on the go as you before even you talk to him.
Yeah, you will see it immediately. And if you open their contact in your phone book, you will see their phone number, you will see their email, you will see their link to the Salesforce record. And if you left any notes in description, you also will see that here under notes. So this is really great tool, especially for sales reps who are traveling for field sales reps who are working in the field. So this is an awesome tool. So you can use it anywhere you go. It always stays with you.
And keep in mind that it's the same. So in addition to contact sync on the mobile platform, you also have the synchronization for the emails, for calendar events. If you have turned it on automatically, we'll basically take care of all of them for you.
So I guess that's just about the mobile integration. Now there's one more question from Brenda. She's asking if SmartCloud is compatible with the classic version of Salesforce.
Yeah, we're completely are. So with both Salesforce Lightning and Classic, we are fully compatible. If there is an additional cost, we do have both two versions. We do have a free version. We do have a paid one. Feel free to check them both. Basically, why it's paid is because the Salesforce themselves, they also provide a paid solution to integrate the Salesforce with Outlook. But we do that at a lower price in the same moment of time, but we also provide you with much better and much wider capabilities.
Yeah, and by the way, worth mentioning, we have a free version as well, right?
Yeah.
So if you just need a solution for some basic needs, you can easily accommodate them with the free edition. But let's say if you want like sync capabilities, obviously we have to use the clouds for that, and so that involves a little cost.
And if you want to, let's say, support all of your custom objects, dive as deep as you want, so that would come with an additional cost. But of course, we have a free version, which is basically still the same mirror of the Salesforce.
But you know what? It would be still less than a meal at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You would pay for a month with the SmartCloud Connect subscription. All right, so I guess we will have to finish our today's meeting. And in case if you still have some questions, you can contact us. Here are our details again.
Yep.
So I think I just need to do it the opposite way. So here are our details. So if you received email from me, Alex Sadler, feel free to call me. My phone number is below, or just email me. You can also add me on LinkedIn, and the same. If you got an email invite from Tom, feel free to just reply back to him. And again, his contact details are below, so you can call him, email him, or add him on LinkedIn. we'd be happy to help you out.
Sure. So if you prefer me better than Alex, feel free to outreach to me to my email or phone number. Anthony, I can see a question for you. Of course, feel free to give me a buzz and we'll go through every question that you have. So just to wrap it up, we basically try to underline for you how exactly you want to go ahead and synchronize every data that you receive on a daily basis and so on. But at the same moment in time, we try to give you in the fingertips what exactly you can do in Outlook to make your life essentially simpler and easier each day.
Yep, and it will definitely increase your performance. It'll ensure full data integrity between your Salesforce CRM and also your reps, inbox, and calendar. And it'll help with your business goals and tasks.
Yeah, on each day.
All right, so again, thank you everyone for joining this meeting. It's been a pleasure to demo our solution to you. In case, if you wish, we will have another demo in 2 weeks. So again, you can sign up and we will try to keep them on the regular basis. So you can join our demos as we're using the same link you got from us previously. Also, feel free to invite any of your colleagues, any of your friends, anyone who you know who uses Salesforce and Outlook, Office 365 to this demo as well, so they could also take advantage of our solution.
Exactly, and we'll try to help you as much as we can.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.